told him to catch fish.
Yeah, we'll take it.
And if you don't catch fish, you're gone. They caught him. In fact, some caught fish so well that they looked like downright geniuses.
I done come to Yale, and people in my family said I could never go to Yale. Didn't know what they was talking about, did they?
For some, the going was tough and the stress factor was high.
I don't think he's gonna make it, though. Oh, man. There. Oh, man. I get him to touch 12, but oh, man. But, you know, one fish like that, either way, on the positive side or the negative side, could cost me $100,000. So.
Six did well enough to survive and fish the final day to shoot for the first prize of the year. Today, the 6 anglers will fish each of 6 holes on Florida's Lake Yale. The final 6 include David Walker, 3rd in the last 2 classics. Gerald Swindle, lots of top 10s, but needs a win. Woo Dave's 2000 Bassmasters Classic champ. Jason Barber, the young Texan with a win last year. Jim Bitter, 5-time Bassmaster tournament winner. And Skeet Reese, the tournament leader after 3 days, now the last man in this field at the first stop of the year on the CITGO Bassmaster Tour.
The CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail is presented by Busch.
Lake County, Florida, the Harris chain of lakes. We are ready for Championship Day. Thanks for joining us on the CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail. I'm Tommy Sanders. David Walker leads our final 6, our Super 6, into the fishing today with almost a 3-pound lead over his next closest competitor. At the bottom of the Super 6, Skeet Reese. He will have to make up almost 6 pounds if he wants a shot at the $100,000 first prize. Top Busch Angler of the Year points as well. And as always, we got Jerry McInnes over there at the map ready to get us set up on Lake Yale.
Can Skeet do that?
He can do that. He can. Any of them can.
We're going to find out. And let me show you what we're going to do with Lake Yale. We're going to section it up into 6 different areas. And every angler is going to have an hour and 10 minutes to fish in each one of them. And you're looking at the catches. 35 of them pop up there from last week's event. Hole number 5 was the hot spot. And you're going to see fish catches in shallow water, but look how near they are to deep water. There's not a lot of deep water in the lake, so when you do find some, it's very valuable. Hole number 2 is pretty hot, too, especially in the afternoon. Nice little point and lots of lily pads over here. Boy, that is thick with lily pads. Number 3 was probably the least productive of any one of the spots, and that's where our buddy Skeet Reese is going to start at today, and he's with Kirsten Gum right now. We are ready to kick this thing off.
I didn't know it was going to be quite this cool.
I don't think any of us did. What's this going to do to your strategy today?
Well, today being in last place going into the final day, it's just...
It's not last place.
I'm last place. I was 6th place.
6th.
Last.
It's 6th. Come on, be positive.
Last out of 6, but yeah, so there's only 5 guys ahead of me that I got to catch, and it's today. I think for me, it's just gonna be a matter of luck of getting a big bite or 2, and catching a limit to go with it, and just hope these guys stumble and fall a little bit, and I can beat them down.
Well, if you got an award or a first place for style, I think you'd win. Look at you, boy.
Well, it's a California thing.
It's a California thing.
You know, then we got to teach everybody from Alabama, like Swindle, how to dress, and everybody else. So we're the trendsetters of the country, you know.
Well, it will be fun watching all the trendsetters out there today in this format. Keep an eye on it. It certainly is a big change from your normal approach to a bass fishing tournament.
It's totally different than a practice day or a tournament day, and it's I think it's pretty high energy. It changes the way the fishermen fish. It makes you make quick adjustments, and you know, you don't have time to second guess yourself. You do what's instincts, you run it right then, and the day's over.
It used to be a clear water lake with open water hydrilla, and it was tremendous, and especially for my jerkbait technique, which I like. But it's nothing like that now. Now you have to fish a shoreline, and all the vegetation is really shallow, so it's just, you know, everybody's pretty well equal grounds out here, just going down the bank, chunking whatever they like to throw, and everybody's subject to catching a limit or no fish. I mean, that's just the way it is with these cold fronts.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be tight. We got my competitors around me, so kind of keep it on the down low.
I know. I can't even ask you about your strategy and all that good stuff. I know.
Bitter acts asleep over here, but he's not. Check him out.
All right, guys, it is crunch time. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Less than 8 hours, we will have a winner. Talk about pressure.
Cold and windy, a perfect day, huh? We'll be ready to start right after this.
The CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail is brought to you by CITGO, by Busch, and by Skeeter.
We start our Super 6 final day on Lake Yale, part of the Harris chain, and each of these finalists already fished 3 grueling days to get this far. Our first look now at Jim Bitter.
I'm going to give it a little bit of a worm treatment this morning. And then I'm going back to the back end and mess with that deep water hole. I need a 5-pound fish just to catch up with Walker. And this is probably the best place in the whole lake to do that.
Jerry, do you think there are many 5-pounders in this lake?
You know, I wouldn't say there were a lot of them, but there are some 5-6-pounders in there. You know they are, but that is obviously not one of them. I bet you 5-6 days ago when the water was warm, there were probably fish out on beds, and you would have been surprised how many larger fish that are available here. But boy, that cold front really put the hurt on them.
Gerald Swindle had such a solid day yesterday with that limit.
There's a good lane right there. It's the key is throwing in them little lanes. I'll go over that with you today. When it gets warmer, I'll feel a lot more like it. But looking for them little shots in there where I can get that bait on the bottom. Creep it around. Kick a little mud up. Make one. Oh, there's a big old minnow. I seen him.
Woo Daves won the Bassmasters Classic in 2000 on the Chicago River right there in the Windy City, and almost had a little burst of wind right there, put him in the water.
Went around a post on me. Caught my 2 best fish here yesterday.
Boy, if there were a lot of strikes available, Woo probably wouldn't feel so bad, but there's not. Every one of them is so important.
Lord. That was a good one. That's right where I caught that 3.5 yesterday. It was right where we were supposed to be.
Well, here's the man that's under the gun, David Walker, coming in with a big lead, and that's got to be stressful to sit there and try to protect that. Does that change your fishing?
Well, you know, the thing that I keep thinking about, he had so much confidence, Tommy. You know, I remember last night walking across a parking lot with David Walker, him saying, man, I can't do anything wrong. Well, he has to prove it right here. By gosh, Woo is proving something.
Yeah, he's got one on, and I think he may land it.
This is that same boat dock. He was fishing on the other side of it there just a minute ago, and he's showing a little, really a little zoom finesse worm. And it's probably 6 or 7 feet of water underneath that dock. Oh,
he didn't just kiss that fish, did he? No.
we must have been hallucinating
I
there.
think so.
Feel better now.
Feels better. He's got his jacket off now, really getting down to it.
And boy, these guys handle their boats so well, especially around a boat dock. You know what? You need to get the right distance from that dock and stay there, not disturb the dock, not disturb the fish, and yet be close enough to really make a good cast in on the fish. And Woo and everybody does such a great job of that.
Woo says that he is a great fisherman under tough conditions because he's a good worm fisherman, and that's what your good worm fishermen will do. They'll head for a boat dock if one is available. So that's the plan that Woo is working today. These guys really have to plan very hard today. Only an hour, 10 minutes in each one of these holes. Time management more important than in any other format.
Yeah, I got till quarter after. So it's actually going to kind of work out good because that's one fish from here to that where we started at again. So I got 25 minutes to do it, and that'll be just about right.
David Walker started with the crankbait yesterday, kind of prospecting as much as he could. You think he's kind of set on where he's going to fish? Is that why he's on the Carolina?
Yeah, he was throwing that crankbait to find grass, and now he knows where the grass is. And
There's a keeper.
We're reporting that these guys are catching these fish on Carolina rigs, and they are, but the Carolina rigs are really downsized. They're almost what the guys refer to as mojo rigs, which is just little Carolina rigs.
Uh-oh, another one. Gosh. Ah.
Well, Woo Dave's had a bad miss, and now another painful miss for David Walker.
Okay, I'm on my way back from the takeoff. Final day, right? You guys have to check this out. I see something so cool. David Walker in the lead. Guess what I see? I wonder if the people here know something we don't.
Well, Woo Dave's promised us a big dance today if he won, and looks like he's just getting things warmed up there. Coverage of Skeet Reese and Jason Barber. That is just ahead.
About to catch me about a 6, just right off the bat. Just go ahead and fire this party. I'm talking about up.
Do or die day, the championship day here on our first CITGO Bassmaster Tour event of the year from Gun Barrel City, Texas. Here's Jason Barber.
I don't like cloud cover for the pattern that I'm doing. Usually when you're throwing a trap over grass, you like a little breeze and some sunshine. But fish got to eat, even if it's cloudy. We may have to change it up a little bit, but we'll get them figured out.
Jason Barber is paralleling the bank with a rattle tap. Now, the right cast is straight ahead, not to the bank. The magic depth is right here underneath the boat, so keep the lure in that depth by casting it straight ahead. Then really turn your trolling motor on and keep it on. Boy, cover fresh water. Have that lure in new water all the time. And as I said, there's not much grass in Yale. So these pros have found it, and they will fish the heck out of it. At least they should. It's just like a magnet to these fish. There's not much of it, and so when they move away from the bank, they go right to that grass. You're probably not going to see Jason cast to the bank all day long.
Yes. Good morning, honey. All right.
There you see the tool that Jason used as he paralleled the bank, got himself a score, and put himself on the board unofficially. About 9 pounds for Jason Barber. Now these anglers are getting to retain their weight from the last round of fishing here on Lake Yale, just as they did in the first 2 rounds of this tournament over on the Harris chain. Boy, our hour and 10 minutes is just about up. Our first period is nearly done.
That is beautiful. Time for 2.
The shuffle begins. Each of the anglers makes their move. Again, they have to fish each of 6 holes today. They have to choose their first hole based on their standings after day 3. Barber now moves from 1 to 2. Skeet Reese will move, for instance, from 3 to 4, and he doesn't even slow down. He goes to 4 and right into this canal right here.
Yes, and if he does like he did last week, he'll spend all hour and 10 minutes in that canal.
There we go. Oh, man. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. That's not exactly a little one. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, come here. Yes! That's the right kind of bite, boys. Yeah! Get you some of that, bro. My heart's beating, boys. Girls, kids, everybody. Whew. Those are the kinds of bites I need right there. Man. That'll make you feel good in the morning. I'm not cold anymore. That just got me nice and toasty. The hook set to me is the ultimate in fishing. The ultimate unknown. What's happening, what's gonna happen, how big is it? And just the adrenaline rush of just that one moment of just, and sometimes we're glorious and we get the final reward of putting the fish in the boat.
Skeet would love to get the reward, the big reward today. He and his wife, Kim, are actually expecting their first child, a little girl who is supposed to arrive next week. So if Skeet could get a win here, boy, the Reeses would be mighty tickled.
Yes. Yeah. Get in the boat right now.
He played with it 3 or 4 times before he ate it. Thank you, Lord. Now that's what I'm talking about. Got 20 minutes, boys. See if I can get some more out of here.
Now, the only hope we got is for David Walker to freeze to death. I hate for that to happen to him, but...
Man, every time I'm just coming through that stuff down there, I'm just waiting for it to go tick, tick again. Like that. No!
Well, hopefully David Walker won't freeze to death, and Skeet Reese really hopes that that one doesn't happen again.
You got my worm. Good God. No, there's nothing exciting about tournament bass fishing for 100 grand. He's got it. There we go. Little guy.
That fish will go on Skeet Reese's measuring board. This is deja vu from day 3 of the tournament. Little tiny fish.
He will
on
go
that
on
day,
measuring board.
he stressed about it all day long.
Regardless.
It turned out that little 12 and 1/16 inch fish is what got him into the Super 6.
Guess what, boys? I got 3. He ain't a whopper, but I got 3. Get you some of that, kids. I wonder if that's the same one that yanked my panties down the cast before.
Well, so far it's David Walker getting all the attention today, but Skeet Reese and Woo Daves are the guys who have the fish. All right, check out the leaderboard, and we'll check in with Jim Bitter when we return.
Welcome back. It's Championship Day, first event of the year on the CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail. Our anglers now entering hole number 3 of this 6-hole rotation course. There's the scoreboard. Woo Daves with a slight lead over David Walker. Walker now moving into hole number 2. That's where we saw Woo catch 2 fish already. Also, we saw earlier Skeet Reese catch 3 and 4. That's where Gerald Swindle is headed, and Reese himself going into hole number 5, where Walker got started. And Jerry, you can show us where all those fish were caught, right?
All 9 of them, as a matter of fact, Tommy. In hole number 1, well, I tell you, you'll always have a little bit of activity over there because that's where the boat docks are at. But look here at the canal in hole number 4. And I was kind of surprised that last week there was only 1 fish caught there. This week already 4 have come out of there. And the reason for this, it's the only deep spot in the lake. It sits back off the main lake, probably a couple of football fields, and it has, man, it has 12, 15, 16 feet of water in the bottom of this man-made canal. And look at the nice deep banks. Skeet Reese caught that first fish all the way in the back end in pretty shallow water, but then he moved down the bank and started fishing the deeper sides and picked up 2 more. So that canal has become a big player. Swindle's moving in there right now, and so we'll keep an eye on that. Jim Bitter has moved into hole number 6, already caught a couple of small ones. And Jim, there aren't a whole lot of canals with 16 foot of water anywhere in Central Florida, I don't guess. So all your water down here really depends on grass, right?
Yeah, well, on the Harris chain, there's not a lack of grass. There's as much native vegetation as there ever was in there. What they don't have anymore is the hydrilla. Over here in Yale, it was always a real good fishery with lots of native vegetations. And then the hydrilla came in and exploded, and the lake was really good simply because it was stacking up the fish out in the middle around the grass, and we caught a lot of big fish. But they got rid of the hydrilla, so there's nothing to hold them in one place out there. And getting rid of that hydrilla, they stocked the lake with grass carp, and when they got done eating the hydrilla, they started on everything else, all the native vegetation out there. So they just ate it way back, and then we had the drought, and this lake over here was affected pretty adversely from that drought. Matter of fact, it's still 2 foot low. And consequently, you only have about 3 foot of water on the outside vegetation. Hang on, I got a fish.
Oh, way to go, Jim. I know you picked up a couple of little guys there pretty quick right after you got into that hole.
That one will make it.
That one is going to make it.
Yeah, he'll make it. He's not very big, but he'll make it.
Okay, well, you're on a roll. I really need to get out of your way.
Oh, I can fish while you're talking. It doesn't bother me.
Well, now we're going to go ahead and move on, Jim, but congratulations, boy. What a great week you're having, and good luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you, Jerry.
Meanwhile, over in the canal, slow rolling a spinnerbait is our friend Gerald Swindle. Can he repeat Skeet Reese's performance from earlier today in the same spot? He needs to. He's still carrying just his 8 pounds plus from yesterday, and he's in 5th place right now.
There's one right there in the big one. That's a good one. Come off, God. Damn.
Each lost fish hurts more and more when you're sitting on goose egg.
And, you know, you just lose fish every now and then. Fish get off from time to time. It has nothing to do with your ability, but, boy, that was a tough break for Gerald. You know, several guys have lost important fish today that would have made an impact.
I mean, I feel like I'm sliding down a greasy rope.
Well, undoubtedly, another man who feels like he's on that same rope has got to be David Walker. And, David, I'm wondering if you picked your starting hole today based on where you wanted to be on the lake later on in the day.
No, I really didn't. I just, I'd caught those 3 good fish in one little spot on that number 5 hole. And so I figured, well, I'll go straight to it. I didn't realize how dark it was going to be this morning when we got there, but nonetheless, I still had several bites there, but they was all small fish today. I don't know what I could have done different. I mean, I feel like I made the right choice by going there first because I was sure I could at least catch another good fish there. I didn't know how many more.
Well, now, are you fishing the same spots in each hole as you did yesterday, or today is it going to be necessary for you to find some new spots to fish in each one of those holes?
No, I did that on the holes where I caught fish at, and it hasn't worked at all for me. So I'm going to have to change up and just start fishing some new stuff again, just like it was another practice day. That's all I can do. I don't know. I'm frustrated with it because, I mean, I'm really trying to catch some fish, and I'm fishing the right stuff, and I feel like I'm making the changes when I need to, but it's just not working out for me.
All right, thanks, David. And back to the canal, which for all practical purposes is hole number 4.
Well, these guys are spending their whole time for that period in this canal. I don't blame them either. Boy, Gerald, like Skeet Reese, has picked up his first fish of the day, and it is a dandy. Caught it right in the back end, right where Skeet caught his. But you know what? He's fishing it differently than Skeet was. You know what? He's paralleling it, just like we were talking about Jason Barber doing it. Skeet was pitching a plastic worm into the bank and working it back to the deeper water. Gerald is paralleling the bank.
God, he come off. God. Help me right now. Somebody, please, just gonna have to help a brother out right here. I can't take it no more. I can't take it, son. I'll sit right here and lost this freaking $100,000 just like blowing it out in the wild air. Dude, he drilled that spinnerbait. And my trailer hook's gone. I had a trailer hook on, now my trailer hook's off of it. I don't know where it went to.
Go back in this canal, try it again, who knows? Maybe. I got bitten here yesterday, Ish caught one. Try a few minutes, it's real small, see, maybe get lucky, get one bite.
Well, on this last day, this finals day, this is the time when the mindset is probably more important than any other element, and Skeet has really got it going.
Get you some of that, little bugger.
Oh, look at him hooked. Outside the chin. What's up with that? Whenever the bedfish, I didn't see him, but
that's a keeper, kids. And that's full.
I could have won the damn tournament right here in an hour. Y'all realize that? That's a 4 and a 3 and one close to 3. I know I got the bait, I know how to do it, and I know I figured it out. I just didn't. We need to get one more bite, boys, if we're gonna have a chance to win. We got 15 minutes. I gotta catch another one in here.
15 minutes until the next rotation. Let's take a look at the scoreboard right now, and Skeet Reese almost all the way to a limit right now, and he has caught the leaders. Lots more to come from here on Lake Yale. Don't go away.
The CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, by Mercury, and by Triton.
Championship Day here in Lake County, Florida, the CITGO Bassmaster Tour, our first event of the year. We started on the Harris chain with 175 plus pros. We are down to 6, the Super 6, who are fishing for the championship right now. The $100,000 first prize, top points in the Busch Angler of the Year race, and of course trying to make it into the Bassmasters Classic. And it's so important to get a good early start on both of those two goals here at this first event of the season. David Walker led the Super 6 into this fishing today. Of course, a 3-pound lead on the field, but right now, Skeet Reese making a move on David Walker, and I wonder, Skeet, can you catch him?
That's a darn good question. I got to get the right bites today. I've got one right bite. I got one maybe about 3 pounds, and I got 3 other little swimmers like I caught yesterday to go with it. But just keep fishing. We still got a lot of time, and I don't know. I just got to make sure that I got 5 in the boat and take it from there. If I only weigh 6 or 7 pounds, and that's what I get, and all I can hope for is that everybody else steps on their toes today and doesn't catch them, and anything's possible. But right now, I'm still hunting, trying to get a bigger bite. I got pretty fired up. I think my first fish of the day was that 3-pounder, and I knew that was the right kind. So if I can just make a few more of those right cast, and I'm back in this ball game, boys.
All right, as we look at the scoreboard, now Skeet Reese doesn't know this, but Woo Daves has pulled up just about level with David Walker, yet Woo himself hasn't caught a fish since that first cast of the third period. And Jerry, I guess you can show us all the good holes so far.
14 fish are going to the weigh-in.
Good.
So far, as you said. And hole number 4, well, we got that real good catch going on in the canal. And you know what's really impressive? There aren't many fish on Yale Lake. By gosh, these guys can find fish, and the ones that are there, they are on track to catch them. Right there's that canal. Gerald Swindle thinks that he may have lost the whole event in that canal. When we pull up hole number 1, you're going to see the little point. Boat dock right there. That's where Woo Daves caught his 2 fish early. And we're going to move on over to hole number 2. And David Walker continues to throw that lipless crankbait. He's out away from the lily pads. This is the pocket where we have told you earlier had lots and lots of lily pads. He's out there in 5 or 6 feet of water around some of that submerged grass that is so important. And boy, that fish has got to really help David score and his attitude. We have got a race going on here, folks. Whoa! Oh, man, Skeet Reese over in hole number 5, and we are way into the game to be having terrible mistakes like that.
Had not checked my line in a while, obviously, and that's a rookie maneuver right there, boys. That rookie maneuver right there could just cost me a whole lot of money.
Skeet Reese is going to sit there, hopefully not too long, and beat himself up over that one. Meanwhile, check out David Walker. He seems to be on to something.
You know what? He isn't but 2 or 3 casts away from the last catch, so he definitely is on to something. Our viewers need to realize that these guys can't see each other, so they don't know what's happening out there. And I think there's something important about momentum in fishing as well as other sports. Right now, Reese lost it, and David Walker may have picked it up.
Yeah, Walker started the day with the big lead, lots of confidence when we talked to him the first part of the day, and then he was down, had the sinking spell. He's back up again. That's the way it is on championship day. You're up and you're down.
I think you're right. And you know what? Speaking of up and down, we haven't seen Gerald Swindle in a while.
Right.
Last time we saw him, he was in a bad mood, I think. However, Gerald, Tommy and I have ordered in a pepperoni pizza right now, and we're just wondering if we can get you anything.
You think that's funny, don't you? I think you suck, man. It's cold, and I'm hungry, and you're eating. I hope you and Sanders get choked on some pepperoni. I have to get... some kind of security in there.
All right, Jerry, I hope you paid that bodyguard when Gerald gets back. I guess if we're going to get serious, probably about time with such little time left. There's the scoreboard. David Walker, those last 2 catches gave him the 2 pounds plus lead again over Woo Daves.
Haven't heard from Jason Barber in a while. He is still... Oh, no. He's still not very happy, I'll tell you that. Another fish lost. Boy.
Yeah.
I started to say, though, I really have to hand it to him. Boy, he's sticking with his pattern of throwing that lipless crankbait up and down the bank, parallel in the bank like we talked about earlier.
Just barely kissing it. I had him on for just about 2 seconds. Cuss, 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 cuss. Dirty words, dirty words.
And Jim Bitter still looking for that 5-pounder, I guess. Wouldn't a 5-pounder be timely? Right about now, it's do or die time in this tournament as these folks make a move. Look at the leaderboard. David Walker with the 2 pounds plus lead over Woo Daves. But hey, Woo is not out of it yet. He's still got hole number 4, the canal hole to fish. We'll wrap up the fishing when we return. Here we go. Time is getting short on the final day of our CITGO Bassmaster Tour event on Lake Yale. Not much fishing time left, but you can see from the scoreboard here, there could be a lot of fishing left, as none of our competitors really are more than just 2 quick fish out of the lead.
You know, that's the first thing I think of when I see those scoreboards. Has been that way all day long. One fish changes everything, and Swindle's in his lily pads. Boy, he loves slow rolling that spinnerbait through those pads.
He's in the pad. Don't come off, baby. Please, dear God, don't come off. He's still there. Yeah.
All right, with that fish, Gerald has jumped into a tie with Woo Daves.
It ain't been an easy battle. Y'all just don't know how many I've lost today. But I have struggled.
You know, Walker has struggled as well, but one fish, man, just one fish, and that will put him over the top.
Oh, man. God. Oh, I don't believe it just happened. Don't believe it.
Take one more painful look and see just exactly what David lost here.
I'm turning my head, Tom. I'm not going to look.
Bad.
Boy, that was a toughie, and that could have clinched it. Probably could have clinched the whole deal. As it is, the door is wide open for Woo and Skeet, and boy, that was a tough one.
And Skeet here operating with the old school of fiberglass rod. What do you think of that?
You know what? Every time you see him throwing a crankbait, he will have a fiberglass rod, simply because a fiberglass rod does not react as quickly as a graphite rod will, and gives you a little bit of cushion when you're fishing a crankbait, which you need really badly. And hey, this may be the fish right here.
Oh, come here, baby. Come on. Come on. No.
Yes.
No pressure.
All right. I got 5. I got 5 on it. It ain't gonna win it, but I got 5, kids.
Sometimes you have good days, and then you have these days.
Check in quickly with Jason Barber here. He's another guy who needs a fish or 2 pretty quickly here.
Jason's had his problems as well as far as losing fish
stay on,
goes.
baby. Please stay on.
I'm trying to think. Well, we haven't seen Jim Bitter lose an important fish, but other than that, just practically every angler has had the fish on, or has had the opportunity to win this tournament. Have you thought about that, Tommy?
It's true. It's true. And this is a nice fish right here.
Well, that was one of the better fish we've seen all day long.
All right. Might make up a little ground. Now, if I just had the one I just lost, don't ever look back. But that would have been 2 more pounds than the one I didn't see.
Oh, did he come off? No, no. Come here, come on, come on. Yes!
Oh, now it has really, really gotten interesting. And it's also a good time to say that our scores are always unofficial. They are unofficial, but they're really, really close.
Whew. Thank you. I thought for sure he was gone, man. He buried himself up in that tree. That definitely calls one, boys.
And with that, we end a day that was absolutely full of what-ifs.
Come on. God, that rookie maneuver right there could just cost me a whole lot of money.
You can mark this one on the record, Hoss. I lost a tournament right here. I sit right here and lost this freaking $100,000 just like blowing it out in the wild air.
Oh, I don't believe it just happened.
And my trailer hook's gone. I had a trailer hook on, now my trailer hook's off of it. I don't know where it went to.
Don't believe it.
Well, how can so few fish add up to an exciting weigh-in? We'll stick around. You're about to find out coming up next.
The CITGO Bassmaster Tournament Trail is brought to you by Yamaha, by CITGO, and by Busch.
Weigh-in time at Leesburg, Florida. A big crowd gathered around home plate, ready to settle a tight race today.
Here we go. Give this guy a big warm welcome. He's Skeet Reese. All the way from California, Skeet has made it. Getting in that top 12 was a task. He needs 5 pounds and 9 ounces. 5, 9. There's number 3. He's back. Skeet Reese. Here, Skeet, welcome back to the final round.
It's good to be here.
I know it is. All those points are adding up towards a classic berth for you. Here we go. Weight 9 pounds and 5 ounces. 9. 5 outstanding. Grab a couple of them, Skeeter. Skeet, you've got a commanding lead right now. Tell me a little bit about the conditions today.
Whew. Oh, man, what a day. It wasn't easy out there, that's all I know. That wind about cut through me and froze my tail off a bunch of times today. Every time I got in the calm water and in the sun, I'm like, thank you, thank you. But you got on that main lake, it was chilly. I had no idea I had that much weight. I thought I had about 7 pounds, 7.5 pounds maybe. So that gives me a little glimmer of hope there.
Here we go.
Skeet Reese with the 15-2 sets the mark for all the other anglers to shoot at. Jim Bitter, right around the corner from Fruitland Park, Florida, didn't find his 5-pounder today. He winds up with 11 pounds. Jason Barber lost an important fish like a lot of the rest of these anglers. He couldn't get the job done today, finishes with 13.8. Woo Dave's had a hot start with a couple of early catches, but faded throughout the rest of the day. And Gerald Swindle caught some good fish today, but he lost some good ones as well. That's what made the difference for him. So one angler is left with a chance to catch Skeet Reese, and that was our leader going into today, David Walker.
Wow. David Walker, pass them off. Here we go. How many are in there, David?
You've seen how many's in there, Vic.
He needs 3 pounds and
some change. He needs 315. The weight, 3 pounds, 6 ounces, 3-6. Skeet Reese is your champion. In Leesburg, Florida. Oh, buddy. David Walker's 2-day total, 14 pounds, 11 ounces. David, so close.
So close is right. I mean, I got to hand it to Skeets. He caught a lot of fish today, and it was a tough day out there. I know Gerald was talking about the way he was losing fish, and it is happening to all of us. They just weren't biting very aggressively, but Skeet managed to figure it out, and that's what it takes to win this.
Just south of town here, actually, it would be east of town. There is a David Walker Boulevard.
It used to be called 2nd Street, right?
One more big round of applause for David Walker, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, tell me something. You were the first guy in. What did you think?
Oh man, I had no idea I had that much weight. I really thought David was going to walk this thing today. Sorry.
It's a long drive from the West Coast. And I understand that your wife couldn't make the trip because she's at home in California and she is due next week.
Actually, God, I would give anything for her to be here right now. Woo! Man. She is my #1 support in this sport. I could not do what I do without her. She's been there for me for the last 5 years, and I wanted to win one this year for our new little girl is due in about 2 weeks. And I guess I did it.
Where's your wife right now?
My wife, I guarantee you, is sitting at home.
Waiting for this phone call. What's her number?
I don't know if I can handle that call right now. Good.
I can.
You push send. Ooh, boy.
You ready?
No.
It's ringing. It's ringed twice. She just answered. Hi, this is Fish. Oh, I'm just standing around. I'm at the tournament. I just weighed Skeet in about, 25 minutes ago. He had a little over 9 pounds. He won. Get off the floor, woman.
She just had the baby.
Someone hold her. Skeet, she wants to talk to you. Hang on, here he is.
Hi, baby. I just won. Yes.
You didn't believe me?
I did. I won it, baby. 100G Bassmaster tournament. I did it. Just don't have the baby right now. Wait till I get home, okay?
So Skeet Reese jumps over 5 other anglers today to grab the first prize of the year on the CITGO Bassmaster Tour. Also very important, accumulating Busch Angler of the Year points. Important because of the big money at the end of the season and making the cuts along the way, getting into the final field at the Bassmasters Classic. Skeet Reese on top of that list as well.
Of course, Jerry, the big show next week moves down to Lake Okeechobee, which this time of year can either be just fantastic or, in our experience, it can be about 30 degrees and just miserable, tough on those anglers. Denny Brower standing by, going to give us a preview today. And Denny, which Okeechobee are these guys going to find this week?
I think they're going to find a little bit of each. There's going to be some good stringers caught, but the water temperatures dropped 7, 8 degrees the last couple of days. We've had a real cold night, and when it cools down here on Okeechobee, the fish do not want to bite as good. And everybody I've talked to, they've had less bites each day. So it's going to be a hard tournament, but the guys that get in the right spot, there's going to be some 20-pound bags.
Well, Denny, a simple question. How about telling us your technique during the practice days?
Well, early in the week before the water temperature dropped, I was able to catch some fish on topwater baits, but that's got a little tougher each day as the water temperature's gone down, and a lot of the fish now, they're catching them on worms, you're catching them flipping, pitching, different techniques like that. Obviously, there's some spawning fish
fish. There'll be some guys catch them off of beds too. But
Well, go way out on the limb here for me. Predict the 2 qualifying days. What will it take to move on after 2 days?
boy, that's hard to predict, Jerry. We're going to have another cool night tonight, but it's supposed to warm up tomorrow, and the later flights tomorrow afternoon, they could pop some real good fish. I think 15 pounds a day minimum, maybe more than that.
Wow, 30 pounds to make it in.
That's
Go
good.
way out further on that limb, Denny. Let's just break it off. Tell us who's going to win this tournament.
Oh, you never know. There's so many good anglers in this field. There's going to be a bunch of us out there trying, and we hope we're going to be that lucky one.
Well, you never know.
He didn't go out on the limb, though.
No, he didn't go far enough out. Could be one Denny Brower. We'll be watching. Thanks for the preview, Denny.
Thank you, guys.
And that's going to do it from Lake County, Florida. Congratulations again to Skeet Reese and the dramatic victory. The CITGO Bassmaster Tour rolls on. We'll see you right here, same time next week.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPNOutdoors.com.